turning the roasted potatoes over. And Mike like screamed for me to come up. But then we found out the next day that that boat had washed ashore. The guy who owns the boat was nowhere to be found. His personal belongings were on the boat. His dog was on the boat. His anchor was up. His sails were down. And it has just been like such a scary sort of week here. We are Mike and Taylor. And these are our dogs, Penny and Lucy. We sold our home and nearly everything we owned, moved aboard a 40-foot boat, and sailed from Seattle. This is the story of us making our way. We had just spent a week in the marina, our first stretch of time tied to a dock in over 5 months, while Mike's parents came to visit us in the small town of Loreto in Baja California Sur. Our week in the marina was filled with sightseeing, adventuring, and chores, and so we are feeling so excited for some quiet time, finally back out on the hook in the remote beauty of the Sea of Cortez. After spending weeks bouncing between familiar anchorages, this is our first venture into new territory. And while still not too far from the charming city of Loreto, Isla Carmen felt like a whole new world, and we were soaking it all up. Unfortunately, many of the islands here don't technically allow dogs, so we have to be a little creative with how we exercise them, and they can't always come to shore for every excursion, but they don't seem to mind.
My parents brought us our replacement drone. A replacement drone. To replace the one that I crashed into the boat and went underwater. I'm gonna be so nervous to fly this thing though. Oh.
probably a good point to say that we are absolutely not sponsored by DJI.
No.
But
We paid full price.
yeah, but if DJI wants to sponsor us,
Yeah, please do. I'll try not to crash more of your drones.
wow. Sick aerial shots
Fancy.
coming your way. Today we took via just across the bay from that area to right here. We just anchored and we're gonna do a little shore excursion. I guess today is like the hottest day that we've had in a long time.
Hey, the air is not hot, but the sun is really hot today.
Yeah.
That's the first like really hot sun we felt in a while.
Feels great. So this little thing right here, it's kind of hard to tell on the GoPro, but it's actually about 1,000 feet high and it is a volcanic cone. Look at the color of the water. Wow. Watercolor is so beautiful. Wow, yeah. Holy shit. A lot more tourist action on this beach. A lot of the pongas from Loreto just zip over for the day. We're on the other side of the island because there's going to be some northerlies coming down tomorrow, but we might move over here for the weekend.
Chilly? Refreshing?
Refreshing. Definitely refreshing. Well, this is okay.
This is okay.
Okay. So it's been a little bit of a strange week here. The week that Mike's parents were here, I think we shared there was some big weather and there was a little bit of drama going on with the yacht that hit the reef and was stranded and stuck and taking on water. It's a week later and they are still stranded and stuck and taking on water. I think last we heard they're waiting for a big high tide to be able to float it off the reef. But another thing that happened that I'm not sure that we've shared here yet is a boat that was actually in the Baja Haha with us. We've actually never met him, but we've seen his boat around and on AIS. We've anchored next to him in anchorages and so on and so forth. But while Mike's parents were here, so this was just last week, just washed ashore on a beach, actually right behind me. in a town called Napolo, and it happened to be the town that Mike's parents were staying at, where their hotel was. And so we went out to dinner on Saturday night, and we actually saw, sort of through houses, and we saw that there was a boat on the beach. We saw that there was a boat. We didn't see that it was on the beach. We thought it was just kind of anchored. But then we found out the next day that that boat had washed ashore. And the guy who owns the boat, I think his name is Bill, was nowhere to be found. His personal belongings were on the boat. His dog was on the boat. His anchor was up. His sails were down. And it has just been like such a scary sort of week here. I think they're doing quite a thorough search, but I mean, that is just such a terrifying thing. And they haven't found him. It's just so sad and so scary, and it's just kind of been in the back of our minds this whole week. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope he turns up somewhere, but just a kind of a strange cloud hanging over, I think, the whole cruiser community and sailing community, especially in this area right now. It's really just kind of like a sobering reminder that, you know, things can turn really quickly and it can be really scary out here. We're just kind of keeping him in our thoughts and just
The next day, the Nortes arrived, strong northerly winds that kept us hunkered down inside Villa. But as the evening approached, the wind died, and we were treated to an incredible show.
It ended up being them breathing, but I heard a noise. I thought it was a wave because it's windy, but it was like right here in the sun. So I looked over and blinded myself, and then, but then I heard like 3 in a row, and I looked over and they were less than a boat length away. They were right here. That's when I toggled your hair to try to get your attention. Again, less than a boat length behind the boat. One jumped, and then 20 feet over, another one jumped, and then 20 feet over, the third one jumped.
wow. And here we are just making dinner. I was downstairs turning the roasted potatoes over, and Mike like screamed for me to come up. Such a beautiful sunset and moonrise. We take moonrises very seriously in this house, and so we made a good dinner, but we gotta watch this show first.
We've had a good show. Dolphins jumping off the stern.
It's been a good day.
Good sunset.
So this morning we took Via from the far side of this island where we rode out the northerlies from yesterday, and we just drove around to this totally pristine, beautiful bay, and it's amazing. The water clarity is still a little bit in its winter form right now, which is to say it's not as clear as it usually gets. Winter, there's like algae and just there's a lot going on in the sea that kind of makes it the second most diverse marine environment on the planet. So there's a lot that happens in the winter. I think there's a big like regeneration. So anyway, clarity isn't always like pristine, but it's pretty great over here. I'm just going for a little paddle board. This beach is like littered with great blue herons. There's so many fish here that are swimming underneath. There's like barred pargo and grouper and snapper. Really cool. Really cool. It's pretty incredible. There's a bunch of fish around me right here. And this is where we're gonna spend the next couple of days before we have to duck back into the marina to ride out some big old wind again.
Next on Sailing Via, we arrive in the Maldives. No, wait, that's still the Sea of Cortez. We play on white sand beaches, swim in turquoise water, and summit a volcano.
Decided to come to shore and hike the volcano. Did it!
Mike's going into the scrubs. I don't want no scrubs.